Okay, should be live any moment.
Okay.
Okay, let me just try again. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, though it says there live on Facebook, but
Mm,
it's always good to just make sure.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, yay! Hello, parents. This is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and thank you so much for being here. And today, if you have watched our this morning interview, thanks so much for coming back again. So today we have our guest Joy. Hello, Joy.
Hello, hi everyone.
Okay, so maybe I will just introduce Joy and sorry, my voice is breaking out. It's too much interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
okay.
problem.
Yeah, okay. Joy is a registered psychologist and founder of Empathy Works Psychological Wellness. And today's topic is on helping my child manage stress effectively. Okay, Joy, would you be able to share with us like your backstory? And then I think you have also prepared some slides for us. So it's your time now. Just take it away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, John, for having me here. And thank you very much. For this wonderful platform. I think it's really meaningful that you have this platform to reach out to parents. Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Joy. My surname is Hao. So my father always says that thankfully he didn't call me Annie. So I'm a psychologist, but don't worry, I don't read minds. Okay, something about me, right? The backstory. Okay, I do counseling work currently. I do talks and workshops in schools and also in corporate organizations on topics related to mental well-being. So actually my first career, I didn't started off as a counselor or a psychologist. When I was very young, I was very influenced by this TV show. I'm not sure whether you remember that. This Ayoyo teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like as a young impressionable youngster, I was really influenced. I also was influenced by certain books that we were asked to read in secondary school, written by a teacher. So being a teacher has always been my childhood dream. So hence, after my A-levels, I went on to do my studies in NIE to do this 4-year degree course in education and also in physics and also mathematics. So as I look back, wow, it's been a long journey. So I went on to do to do teaching, but for a short while. And for me, why I actually chose this topic on stress, because it is something so personal to me. When I was young, as a young teacher, I wasn't able to cope with stress that well. Yeah, it was really tough for me then. I did not have the coping strategies, and hence I actually left teaching. So as I look back, I think this is something that actually, as I look back, right, if I could have learned more coping mechanisms then, perhaps I would have felt a little bit more equipped, to actually to continue in my teaching career. But all is not lost, because I'm very thankful that after I left teaching, because I still enjoy working with students, young people. So I did my this another bachelor degree in psychology, because we had to start from scratch again, and then and counseling as well. So after that, I went on to work in some VWOs and doing counseling work and doing talks and workshops, and then also a short time in IMH as well. Yeah, as the psychologist in this child guidance clinic for a short while. And then I left in 2013 to actually to be on my own. So I actually since 2013 I've been on my own doing some private practice work and also some teaching, part-time teaching, as well as, and also 5 years ago, I actually challenged my own limiting beliefs to actually do talks for adults.
Oh, yay! Well done.
Thank you. So yeah, so it's been a long journey. So I'm really thankful for this various opportunities along the way. Yeah, and it's a learning process actually for me. Yeah. So
And I'm very curious because in my opinion, psychologist is a highly skilled professional. Yeah. And And being in the social work sector for 7 years, I mean, when I was a social worker, I know that there are also many other types of professions like social worker, counselor, therapists. Yeah. So what makes you choose psychologist as a career?
Oh, okay. I see. Um, okay, because I think the human mind is so interesting that I was actually, because after I left teaching, I was actually deciding, oh, what, I really want to work with people, but no, there are so many choices, right? So I actually asked, I asked for advice. So I spoke to different people. I spoke to different mentors. I mean, then my mentor lah. So also spoke to my cousin then. So they actually gave me some advice that, hey, this, because I really want to find out a bit more about people, what, and also about myself as well, why I can't cope with stress that well when I was young, and then how my experiences actually shaped the way I was. So I was really, really curious about, this part about human behavior. So hence I went to do this degree in psychology, and then after that subsequently the master's in counseling psychology. So yeah, so in a way, I think it still intrigues. I'm still very intrigued by this area that is, I mean, we're all learning every day about new things, about new people. So everywhere, I mean, whatever we see, whoever we meet, right? Our friends and even our family members, actually using the theories of psychology can help us to actually understand people a little bit better and help us to actually empathize with people a bit better as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. Will you be able to help us to understand like how do you work with your clients, and is this a good time to share your slides, because I think that you have
Sure.
prepared a lot of content in the slide as well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me just go to my slides. All right. Okay. So when we talk about children and stress, right? Okay. Children, each child reacts with stress very, very differently because of different temperament, different age and development. Some children are a little bit more easygoing, not so perfectionistic. Children like these who are more easygoing, who are a bit more laid back, maybe are able to manage with stress more effectively. Personality plays a part, the temperament as well. And we also have to note that children do not have the same resources as us adults in dealing with stress. This one is something that I always keep in mind. All right. So what do children say about stress, right? Okay, different levels, different age groups will have different kinds of stresses. Age 5, stress is when mommy does not buy me my favorite toy. Okay, or does not bring me to McDonald's. Age 7, stress is when daddy carries little sister more. Sibling rivalry. Okay, age 12, the preteen, the tween. Stress is when nobody invites me for their birthday parties. You feel that's when you want to belong to a group. Okay, and age 15, teenage years, stress is when I can't find a nice dress to wear to the outing. All right, so the body image comes into play. And age 18, stress is when I can't get into the course of my choice. Okay, so when we talk about stress, right, a lot of us think that stress is totally bad. Okay, actually, stress is not totally bad. A little bit of stress actually, right, propels us. For instance, the swimmer, Joseph Schooling, right, a little bit of stress actually helps him to actually perform better in competitions. All right. So this graph, I really like this graph. A little bit of stress actually helps us to perform better. But however, the problem comes when the stress is too much, okay, or for a long, prolonged period of time. That's when our performance level gets lower. All right. So the optimal amount of stress, right, will be ideal. The medium, okay. So we get the optimal performance as well. Not too much and not too little. Okay. So how
Sorry,
do
Joy, would you be able to go back to the previous slide?
no problem.
Yeah, because I think you spend a lot of time. Yes, this one, and I know that you spend a lot of time, and sometimes as a parents, we may not be exposed to this. So I thought we just want the parents to better understand. Yeah. So, in the school context, let's say in a home context, when a child is saying that he's stressed or he's exhibiting stressful behavior. So where do you think the part of the curve he's at when he said that he's stressed, or parents can identify stressful behavior?
Okay, so how we identify behaviors, right, would be later on we actually talk a little bit about the symptoms. Like for instance, symptoms like if for very young children, maybe they start to actually throw a little bit of tantrums, or some children actually regress. You know, in certain cases when children regress, like for instance, they start to actually have some meltdowns, or they start to suck the thumb again. All right, they go back to when the behaviors that they actually experienced that when they were very young. These are some signs and symptoms of maybe the stress is actually quite high already. Yeah. Later on, actually, there are some slides for us to actually identify the symptoms of stress as well.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So, okay. So shall I? Oh, by the way, I can actually provide the slides for the parents if it's helpful for them as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's up to you.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if let's say if you want to provide, I can just put a download link in the Facebook post, and then you can just download it.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah. So okay, so negative consequences, right? Just now we mentioned, you know, for myself, no, when I was very stressed, you know, I tend to have, I felt very anxious that time when I was beginning teacher. All right, and we know that as adults as well, right? When we are stressed, we feel, you know, our immune system goes down, and then we might feel a little bit, you know, our mood gets very, I mean, we might feel a bit low. Our mood is a bit low. Oh, excuse me. So, sorry, let me just
drink water. Now it's my turn to talk. Water. Yeah, you know why? I think is it because of the weather? And
I'm not sure.
Just when I was talking to you, I was okay. Then suddenly when I started the interview, that how come now got so much phlegm in my mouth?
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so things happen.
Yeah,
and there's a Murphy's law, right? There's a Murphy's law.
Yes,
things will always, like, the wrong things will happen or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So yeah, and we know that some children, right, they are stressed. They are, you know, they actually have prepared for this topic for so long and so well. But when they are so stressed, their mind blanks out.
Yeah.
During the exam hall. And we also hear of children when they are stressed, you know, they have behavioral problems. Like for instance, maybe they actually use phone, like, to cope. They're actually addicted to maybe games, right? Or maybe they actually are very withdrawn. Okay, or maybe they actually lash out at people, and they regret it after that. So in Singapore, right, okay, these are some articles in the past few years. More teens and children are stressed out. Okay, and Singapore students suffer from high levels of anxiety. And also more teens seeking help at IMH. Okay, and then there's this case, which is a very sad case. I'm not sure whether all of us remember in 2016, there was this primary 5 boy. Yeah, he always actually did very well for all his subjects. He never got below 70. Yeah, so one day actually, after his exams, right, in May in 2016, in the morning, he was so worried about his exam results that he was worried about his parents' expectations of him. And then in the morning, he pretended to actually put on his clothes, his uniform, to go to school. But in the end, he actually went into his room and he just jumped. Yeah. So these are some of the very negative consequences of stress. And we also hear about suicides in Singapore when young people are stressed as well.
Yeah, so when you're sharing, I was also reflecting back to my younger days. And in fact, sometimes as adults, when we see a child stressed out, or he telling us that he's worried about his studies, or something that's similar, and sometimes as adults, we tend to look at it from the adult's eyes and think that actually there's nothing to worry about. But when I look back at my younger days, in fact, I was in the best class for 6 years in my primary school, and or 5 years, yeah, when I didn't get into the best class in P6, actually I remember now. Now I remember that I had nightmares
Oh,
every night, and
mhm.
when I was crying, yeah. So when I look at it, actually stress to the child is very real, and adults should not just sweep it away like that.
Exactly, exactly. So because to us we have actually come through it, and for a child, right, as we mentioned earlier, they might not have the experience or the coping mechanisms to learn. I was actually I came across this article that was quite interesting. It says that when children, right, they don't know about like science concepts, they are allowed to learn. We adults, right, we know that they don't know, so we actually teach them. But when children, they are not sure of how to cope with their emotions like stress, sometimes we adults, right, actually assume that they will know about the coping strategies somehow, or rather somehow or other. Yeah, and then we might not actually know that it's also something that they can actually learn as well. Yeah. So and I think it's quite sad that in this 2018, right, there were 29 suicides in this age group, young people 10 to 29 out of
Mhm.
94 in total. But the
Mm.
good thing is more young people are willing to reach out for help, which is why I think just now there was this article that more people are seeking help at IMH as well, or like the helplines also. Yeah. So, okay, some common sources of stress in children. School is a big one, exams, tests, homework, or even like expectations from parents. Okay, also expectations from teachers, right? That's a very major component. Even CCA, all right.
Mhm.
Currently, I think CCA has stopped, but CCA can be a source of stress as well. Peer pressure, all right, peer pressure from people of around in class, peer pressure to do things that they don't want to do, wanting to fit in, they might feel very stressed also.
Mhm.
Friends, okay, friendship issues, okay, like for children, right, I'm not sure when I was young, I don't want to friend you, okay, you tell this girl you don't friend her, and so on, and that kind was stressful for me personally. Yeah, conflicts at home. Yeah, when parents are fighting, when siblings are fighting, that can be a big source of stress. Bullying. Nowadays, cyberbullying is quite prevalent.
Mhm.
And some children actually, because when I was working in a school, I encountered some children who actually they might not have this financial resources to even buy food. Yeah, the basic necessities. Yeah, and of course, children with their own expectations as well, might be their own expectations to do well, maybe to do better than their sibling, or to actually to want to please their parents. Yeah, could be actually, these are all when put together, right, this can be really really tough for a young child. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Can I also add in from my own experience of observing the students that I've taught and what they shared with me.
Mhm.
I think because nowadays the world that our children are facing are living in consists of two worlds. One is the online world
Yeah,
and the other is the offline world. While when we were younger, we only have the
yeah,
offline world to deal
that's
with.
right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Not
So
complicated.
kids get stressed when they posted. I mean, there's a child who said this, and she looks very stressful.
Mm.
She said that, "Oh, how come no one liked my photo, or no one give
Yes,
me a like in the Instagram post?"
that's right, that's right.
Yeah, but as adults, are like, okay, like this is just a photo, but I think it's a big deal in the kids' world.
Yeah, to them it's a big deal actually. Yeah, this wanting to have this approval from friends, it is a big deal. Like some there are teens, who actually after they posted this Instagram post, they will wait and wait and wait to see who likes the post, and they actually then there's this boy who tells me that how come nobody likes, so nobody comment, or am I no good? And then they start to compare with their friends, people who are a bit more popular. And that could be actually an added source of stress, very, very real source of stress for children, teens as well. And in this study, right, in 2015, I think in Singapore, I think compared to the world, test anxiety, even when they are very well prepared, right, students still feel 76% of the students still feel very anxious. Yeah. So 82% compared to 60%, okay, on average. Yeah, so I'm not sure, like, Singapore, this current context of this Singapore students, that they want to actually do well, which is a good thing, but sometimes at the expense of their own well-being. Yeah. Okay, so how do we know if my child is feeling stressed? I think just now, to answer the question earlier, right? So how do we know whether my child is on the low level or the high level of stress, right? Okay, so these are some signs of stress in children age 4 to 11, primary school age, or pre-primary school age, nursery, kindergarten. Withdrawing from people. Let's say if the child is like usually very active, but sometimes you see her withdrawing and becoming very quiet. Okay, that's one symptom. Crying frequently for no reason, or telling always wanting assurance, Papa, you love me or not? Mommy, you love me? Or maybe the child has a lot of worries and then keep asking you about this thing, to ask you for reassurance. Right? Or maybe missing school. I have students actually in primary school, right? They were so stressed that they just don't want to go to school, because going to school, they just don't want to step into the school. And I remember there was a child who actually, he was already in school, but he actually hid in the toilet. Yeah, some very stressful for him. He was in primary 2 that time. Yeah. Friendships, okay, maybe the child is a very sociable person, but just ignoring friendships, suddenly complaining of headaches, stomach aches, complaining of not going, don't want to go to school, I'm not feeling well, or going to the toilet more frequently, not being able to sleep, or some children might have nightmares, not being able to eat, or some children might actually eat too much, or regression in behavior we mentioned, like, a primary 4 kids suddenly become very clingy, yeah, or suddenly, lying on the floor, throwing tantrums, like what he would do when he was much younger. Yeah. So for children who are a little bit older, let's say 11, 12, primary 5, primary 6, or teenagers, right? Sometimes they show their stress, demonstrate their stress through anger. They might not say that they're stressed, but they might show it with aggression, rebellion, okay, or they might cry more, especially for girls, or they might become a bit more irritable. We just don't know whether it's because of puberty, or is it because of what's happening within him or her, because of the stressor. Or some children or teens, right, they actually become very depressed. Actually, underlying the depression is actually a lot of stress that is not managed well, and disrupted sleep is very common as well. Yeah, so these are some of the signs of like prolonged stress in children. Yeah. So,
Can I just ask a quick
uh,
question? Yeah,
mm,
because I also have seen it. I mean,
mm,
not recently, but
mm,
I think in one of the years when I was a social worker, and I
mm,
recognize that while these form of behaviors are like children who don't act out so much, they
mm,
started to act out.
mm,
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that I might have seen cases, or in your own experience, have you seen cases that children who are acting out and it's their norm,
mm.
suddenly
Yes.
there's a
Yeah.
180 degree in a reversal of behavior, that it suddenly becomes so quiet.
Yeah, that's right. Suddenly they become very withdrawn. They lose interest in things. They don't want to talk. They're very talkative, but suddenly they become very quiet. Yeah, that could also be a symptom of stress that parents, adults can actually look out for. Like, sudden changes in behavior, whether from you become very aggressive, or you become very withdrawn. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Yeah, thanks, John. Okay, so what are some strategies, right? Today in this short session, we'd like to just explore some strategies that we can actually help children to manage stress better. Okay, firstly, observe the child. Okay, observe the behavioral patterns like just now what John mentioned, like the change in behavior. Okay, acknowledge your child's feelings. Okay, help him to understand the signs of stress. Okay, how do we actually acknowledge the feelings, right? I think just now, John, you had a very good point that children sometimes when they go through stress, because we have gone through it ourselves, you might think that it's nothing. Why are you so stressed? So instead of that, right, we can actually do something but called acknowledging their feelings. Okay, because children like us, right, they need to have their feelings respected and listened to. So what we can do is we can listen quietly, attentively, not interrupting the child. Okay, sometimes as parents, right, we actually or adults, we have a tendency to actually say something like, yeah, why are you so stressed? Nothing to be worried about, you know, just do what you can. And then we dish out advice instead of actually just being there for the child. Yeah. So what we can also do is to acknowledge the feelings with a word. For instance, right, let's say the child is saying that Papa, I did not get through the audition. Okay, so we can identify this feeling. Okay, maybe the feeling could be sadness, could be disappointment. So what we can do is to acknowledge and reflect back the feeling to the child. For instance, boy, you must be feeling very sad and disappointed. You have been trying so hard, to train so hard to participate in this musical. Yeah, I can see that you are really sad. Okay, so identify the feeling actually helps the child to feel, hey, Papa understands me, Daddy understands, that I'm not being judged for how I'm feeling. Or, I was all alone during lunch. Was all alone. Everybody was eating together. I was all alone. Okay, so the feeling, the child might not say that I feel sad or hurt, but we need to actually practice, to be more attuned to what is not being said, right? From the tone of voice, body language. So what we can do is we can say, oh, okay, girl, wow, sounds like you felt really left out today. It's not a good feeling, or yeah, by acknowledging her the feeling, and she feels that, hey, mommy really knows what it's about, and she might actually start to open up more. However, if we start to say, no lah, what's there to be sad about? If we start to deny the feeling, why little bit boy, boy, don't be so petty. The boy might actually think that, hey, my feelings are not valid, and he might shut down and not open up to us, even especially when times when he's in crisis. All right, or maybe we might say that we might interrupt him when he's talking, or we might say that, small matter, last time mommy is like this, last time daddy is like this, and then we try to say, compare ourselves with her. No, our parents' intentions are always good. The intentions are good. It's just that maybe the way we actually as adults we put it across, whether it is the child, does he benefit from the way we say it. Yeah. So for myself, right, okay, and even as adults, when we talk to one another, sometimes we just want a listening ear. Yeah, we just don't want, when I want to talk to my friends, so the last thing that I want is, or to my husband, right, the last thing I want is, to be given advice. Sometimes we know what to do. We just need to actually have a safe space to pour out our emotions. Yeah, even as adults, we need that. What more a young child?
Actually, can I just add in
Sure.
my opinion on this? I think it's also a great reminder for the husbands out there. Yeah, so there's a saying that I learned from my in my social work days, that if a woman comes to confide in you, don't say anything, just listen.
Yes, that's right.
And I think and one of the common myths, I think, is the men will just start to dish out all the solutions. You can do this lah, you can do that lah. Yeah, but I think also correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I'm not a woman. Yeah. So I think that will be one of the things that most women would not like to hear. Like, I'm just coming here to share with you, but
Uh,
you are sharing with me the solutions, which makes me feel that I'm not listened to. Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah, correct. That's right. That's right. Yeah, the other party's intention is good. It's just that yeah, what I need is not, solution. I just need you to just listen. Yeah, and then
Actually,
it might lead
just
to a lot. Yeah.
and also just curious, also because in today's world of instant gratification,
Mm,
would you feel that this also could play a part in why sometimes when someone comes to us,
mm.
and we do feel the urge to want to solve it straight away?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because currently there's so much things are going so fast, technology, instant gratification like what you mentioned. I think yeah, we just want to get it over and done with, solve your problem. Okay, you are fine. Okay, next. Yeah. So actually sometimes when we are, in such a hurry, or sometimes we might actually think that we are listening or on our social media.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, a boy, okay, I'm listening. Yeah, a boy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening. A boy, I'm listening. But we are not listening actually. And the boy can actually, the child just might shut down. So yeah, so all these little things actually I'm also reminding myself, yeah, that we need to actually give our whole presence, when especially when the child, when he's still young, she's still open to share with us. Let's say if she finds that, hey, I cannot even share my feelings, if I share, whenever I share I get shut down, I might as well don't share, it makes me feel even worse. I might as well don't share. And then when he grows into his teenage years, right, it's even more difficult for him to come to us. Yeah. So when the child is still young, it's good to have this foundation of openness with the child. Even for young boys, when they cry, instead of saying that don't cry, you're such a boy, cry baby, you need to be brave. No, instead of saying that to the boy, no, just say that, hey, it's okay to cry. It's all right to cry. It actually helps him to develop his emotional muscles, and to have somebody to validate his feelings. Yeah, I really like this book. It's a book resource that parents can actually use. Yeah, can get it popular. That actually how we can really listen to our children, acknowledge the feelings, reflect the feelings. It's a very good book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another strategy, right, is actually to develop the emotional literacy of the child. Very, very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional literacy. Yeah, but how do we actually do that? Okay, just now I think we mentioned that we need to acknowledge and validate the emotions. Okay, we can also, for instance, ask, okay, how are you feeling right now? Okay, if we were to ask everyone here, right? Okay, our parents here, how are you feeling right now? Okay, is it Tuesday today? No, it's Monday. Okay, I'm feeling blue. Okay, I'm feeling confused. Okay, now,
But most of us may still feel that it's a weekend, or
oh
hope that today
yes,
is a weekend.
yes, that's right. That's right. Or maybe, okay, it's a Monday, Blue Monday. Okay, for some parents. Or maybe something happened at home or in at work, right? That you're gonna kill somebody. So how are you feeling right now as a parent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as an adult. So here are some words, right, that we can actually teach our children. Okay, joy. Okay, if you're feeling joy, my name, okay,
Yep.
you're feeling happy, are you a level 1, the emotional thermometer, we can teach the child, are you feeling contented, a little bit happy, or you're overjoyed? Okay, teach him the differences between the little the words, the nuances, the words, what does it mean to be overjoyed, what does it mean to be satisfied? Okay, and let's say if you're very scared, okay, are you terrified, or are you maybe anxious,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sadness as well, because as children, they need to know all these vocabulary to identify, to help them to express their emotions. A lot of us, even adults, right, when we ask, how are you feeling? Myself also, I would say, okay, okay,
Mm.
lor. Or
Mm.
in Singlish, right, Singapore lingo, if not too well, or very sian, lor. Okay, everything
Mm.
is just okay or sian or good or no good. Yeah, but when we actually increase our repertoire of words, right, it actually helps us to be more aware of our emotions. And why do we need to actually be aware? There's this saying which goes, right, unless you name it, you cannot tame it. Okay? Unless we actually identify, right, is it stress? Is it anger? Is it sadness? That we are feeling, right? How are we going to manage the emotion in the second place? So this is something that we can do at home. Usually in counseling, I actually encourage parents. Maybe they can print out something very simple from the internet and then just stick it on top. This is for younger children. And then, for instance, everyone will have a sticker. So everyone, including the parents, will have a sticker. So every day, morning and when they come back, how are you feeling? Just stick. All right. And then it could be a conversation topic during dinner time. What makes you feel sad? For parents also, it's a time for parents to actually be open also. So one activity that they can do for even younger children, very, very young children, like pre nursery or kindergarten, they can use something like that, the feelings wheel. Okay, similar concept. And then for children, primary school age or even pre-primary age, or even for older kids, right, they can actually use colors to express their emotions. This was a primary 6 child when we were working with him about his feelings about PSLE. That was what he actually drew.
Wow.
So yeah, he was stressed, a little bit afraid. So the stress was a big one, nervous, worried about PSLE. And then for older adults or even older children or even adults, right, we can even draw, for them to express their feelings. These are some strategies that parents can actually use at home with their children. Yeah. So, okay. So
actually, I like the parts that you shared about the drawing of the heart.
This one.
Yes. I thought this one is really interesting.
Yeah.
And also provided the family believes that this is therapeutic and it's important, because in my own experience, sometimes even like let's say for maths help is equals to doing of questions and nothing else. Yeah, and sometimes we know that all these are therapeutic or an importance for kids. Many adults, I feel, do not take it as the main priority and still would turn back to, okay, I gotta get more guidebooks or get my child to do more questions. But actually, the thing to address first is the child's emotions. So I thought some families may not believe like that.
Yeah, that's right. Because when the child is like emotionally healthy, strong, when he's not overwhelmed with all these so-called unpleasant emotions, right, he will be able to even thrive better at his academic studies. Yeah, but let's say if he's overwhelmed with all these worries and so on, he feels that nobody understands him, there's no outlet for him to express, it is another extra burden for him to carry on top of his academic challenges. So okay, and this one, I think it was done by some adults in a talk. Like adults can also do that. So this is something that parents can also do it together with the children. For older children, right, a mood diary is something that they can use. Maybe P5, P6, or even teenagers. Like how is your mood throughout the day, to track their mood, also to help them to be a bit more aware of their mood. Yeah, so some strategies. Okay, the third strategy is something called positive thought patterns. Okay, because many a times, right, we actually our stress is not because of the situation per se, but it's because of the way we think about the situation. I can just maybe show you this. Okay. All right. When you see a cockroach, right, what is your first reaction to the cockroach?
Oh, you asked the right person. I was first okay. I will not think of anything about the cockroach. I will scream first.
Okay.
So my screaming comes before the thinking or the feeling.
Yes. Same as me. I'll scream, I'll run away. I maybe leave my husband to deal with the cockroach. Yeah. So okay. So there we're similar, right? We scream. and we run away. So there are people, right? They are very, they are very cool and calm when they see a cockroach. Like, for instance, I've seen people, they'll just grab a insecticide, Oh, my husband is a cooler person among the two of us. So you just spray, and then you go and search for the cockroach, and then maybe use newspaper, all right, and then sometimes maybe disturb me. Okay, so you see the same cockroach, right? But two different reactions. What comes to your mind when you see a cockroach? What do you think about a cockroach?
I think it will fly towards me.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thought.
Yeah, correct. Yes, that's right. Me too. I'm afraid that the cockroach will fly towards me, and it's so disgusting, and it's so yucky, right? That's my thought. So this thought actually creates this anxiety, this fear. So I'll run away. But maybe for my husband or anybody else who actually kill the cockroach, right? Maybe for them, or maybe for people who actually eat cockroaches in some cultures, right? Maybe for them, yes, as medication. Yeah. So maybe for them, cockroach is a pest at home that they need to kill in order to protect themselves and their family. So you see the same scenario, same cockroach, but different behaviors. So there's this thing that I learned this in this NLP that I learned before. E plus R equals to O, the event, in this case the cockroach, right? Okay, or exams, response or thoughts about this cockroach. Okay, the O is the outcome. Alright, so if I cannot change the cockroach, it's not that my cockroach is less cute than other people's cockroach, right? I cannot change the situation. I cannot change the PSLE, better don't come, or become easier, okay, or maybe I don't want to take the exam total. I cannot change it, but maybe if I were to change the way I look at the situation, change my thoughts about the situation at home, change my thought about the situation about schoolwork, maybe I will feel a little bit less anxious, a little bit less stressed, and then maybe I can concentrate a bit better. So I would like to play a little game with all of us, for those who are online. Okay, maybe you can actually look around us. Okay, look around us. Okay, focus on the white color things in our room. White color things. Okay, 10 seconds, focus. Then we close our eyes. Okay. I would like us to say out loud, okay, wherever we are, the red color things around us in our room with eyes closed. Okay, you can say out loud, or you can in your mind. Okay, say out loud in your mind. Okay, now after that, with your eyes still closed, I would like you to say out loud again the white color things in your room. The white color things, as many as possible. Okay, now open your eyes. Okay. Which one was easier to identify, the white color things or the red color things?
I would say the white one, because you told me to focus on the white one.
Yeah, exactly. So you see, our mind, right, is so powerful. We can actually shift our mind, to focus on the things that we want to focus on. If we focus on the not so good things, like I'm no good, I'm not good in maths, I'm not good in this, I'm never going to do it, it's going to expand. Our stress is going to increase. But let's say if focus on the little good things, like, hey, okay, I'm improving a little bit by a little bit. Okay, there are people who are helping me. Okay, I have good teachers. Okay, the little good things. Okay, our actually this positive feeling is also going to expand as well. All right. So what are we going to focus on then? Okay, our thoughts, right? Okay, we cannot trust our thoughts. Okay, I'll just show you this little video. Okay, what do we mean by that?
But seriously, just look at what she's wearing. This one. Hi guys. Is everything okay?
Okay, this young lady walked into the pantry, and then suddenly everybody kept quiet, right? And then so what is the first thought she might be thinking about?
They must be talking about me.
Yeah, They must be gossiping about me. And then that might make her very stressed throughout the whole day also. But is that really true?
Yeah. Bye.
Wow, that was close.
Yeah, if she had seen us, all that planning for her birthday would have been wasted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So sometimes, our thoughts, they are talking about her, but not negatively about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, lor.
They are actually planning something special for her, and I guess that they also like her as a friend, so that's why they are planning some, like, her special day is coming.
Exactly. So usually our thoughts, right? The first thing that come to our mind is, usually it's quite negative. And these are called the ants. We call them ants crawling in our mind, the automatic negative thoughts. Usually something happen, okay, we'll think about the worst scenario, the negative things. But they are not always true. Okay, this is something called jumping to conclusions. Just now the lady,
Mm-hmm.
maybe she was thinking that they're gossiping about me, but is it really true? Maybe not. Okay. Another kind of thought is overgeneralization. For instance, maybe one test we didn't do so well, and we think to ourselves, oh, this test I'm not doing well. Okay, I'm going to fail my whole PSLE, for instance. Overgeneralization, making us feel unnecessarily stressed. Or maybe filtering, for instance, for children, right? Some children, when they actually, they focus on the negatives, but they forget about the good things about themselves. Adults also, for myself, right? For instance, right? Adults, let's say 10 tasks that went very well. Okay, just one task didn't do well, right? So when we go home, usually, what will we think about? I'm not sure about John. I'm not sure about John, but usually for me, right, I'll actually ruminate. I'll think about the one thing that didn't do well. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I say that? Why didn't I do this more? Why didn't I do this less? Then I'll think about that, and I forget the 10 things that went well. I just focus on the one thing that didn't go well. So for children, some children, they might be like that as well. And finally, also, this another one we call it disaster thinking. Catastrophizing, disaster thinking that things will not work out even before trying. That okay, before I go to a party, people will not like me, for instance. Even before I try sit for exam, I think that I'm going to not make it, for instance. Thinking about the worst. And these ends, or we call them cognitive distortions, are not going to help us. Yeah. So parents can actually help children to identify first, okay, what are the ends that they have. Okay, for instance, children said, if a child says that, I don't think I can pass, for instance. I don't think I can pass. For instance, maybe parents can help the child to identify, okay, girl, you don't think you can pass. Okay, what kind of ends is this? Are you jumping to conclusions? Is there evidence that you'll never pass, you cannot pass? Or are you thinking about the disaster even before it happens? Sorry. Or maybe we can also actually help the child we can ask questions. Instead of giving advice, we can actually ask questions to challenge the child's thoughts. For instance, is this thought helpful? You think that you cannot pass? Is this helpful to you? Is there another way of looking at the situation? Is this fact or opinion that you are no good? You have passed, so many tests, you have done so well in other subjects. You say you are no good. Is this a fact, or is there evidence that you are no good? Okay. So, and what would you say if your friend is feeling this way? So these are some ways that parents can use to help the child to manage and challenge their thought patterns. And okay, so another thought pattern. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Just a quick one for parents who are still watching or will watch this in the future. What I find that is helpful, because sometimes when things didn't go our children's way, it can be quite a handful to cope. What do I mean by that is, I think sometimes as parents, we also need to cope with our own emotion and the emotion towards how our children are feeling on top of helping our child to cope with their emotion.
Mm.
Yeah, so what I suggest to some parents is just now Joy shared a list of questions and I find that they are very helpful. So what I suggest to our parents who told me that it works very well is she printed this out, put somewhere near like on the door of the fridge or along the common corridor. Then when anything happened, the mom actually took the time to go through the list with the daughter
Uh-huh.
and to process. I think it's also a guideline for the mom as well, because a lot of times most parents may not be trained like how we question, how we ask, how we counter the belief.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I thought what would be helpful for most parents would be just read out, lor. Just read out, then you
Yeah.
discuss with your child how true is this. Yeah. And then
Yes.
it's better for them, I feel.
That's right. Yeah, printing AR. I think that's a very excellent suggestion because parents, as adults, right, we also might have our own thoughts as well. Yeah, our own negative thoughts as well. And this printing out and putting it somewhere would be very helpful. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Oh, welcome. just sharing what helps. And sometimes I think even when the child has picked up this good habit of asking the right questions,
Yes.
the child in turn will become the support for the parents.
Yes.
When the
That's
child, when the parent is facing something like they had a bad day,
Mm.
so then you'll be surprised at how your child can step in now to support you in return.
Exactly. So it's a two-way. It helps in the family relationships as well. Yeah, I love that. That's right. And also when the child is able to support the parent, it also increases the self-esteem of the child. Yeah. Thanks, John. And also this another one is Schutz and Must, Mr. Schutz or Mrs. Must. Okay, or everyone should like me. Okay, instead of saying that, we can use the word prefer. I prefer people to like me, but even if they don't, yeah, okay, I have people who like me. Okay, Mr. Must, I must be the top. If not, I'm no good. Okay, I must be the top. If not, I'm no good. A lot of children actually have this, especially children who are doing very well. And maybe we can actually help them to have another way of talking to themselves. I would prefer to be the top. It would be ideal, it would be very good if I can be in the top. But even if I'm not, it's still a learning experience. Okay? It might be difficult, but it takes practice for the parents to actually share with the child. Yes, positive self-talk. Everything is going wrong. I can't do this. Okay, or teach the child how to talk to himself. I can handle things if I take one step at a time. Just do one thing at a time. I don't think I can handle. Okay, I know I've done this before. I've sat for so many exams before, I believe I can do it. Positive self-talk. Okay, and also a little progress actually adds up to big results. Yeah, some quotes might be, or maybe asking the child to actually come up with certain quotes that might encourage him or her. Okay, might actually help themselves. Okay, and this quote is actually for me it's quite meaningful. I find it, I really like this. I've not felt I've just found 10,000 things that do not work. Maybe the 10,001 time will be successful. Okay. And also, okay, relaxation. Relaxation. Okay, how do we actually teach our children to relax? How do we teach them, right? Okay, very quickly, I think there's one way that we can teach them called the calm breathing. Okay, teaching them calm breathing, because when we look at babies, right? Babies, when they are sleeping, we notice that the babies, the tummy goes up and down, right? Okay, and the chest actually doesn't move. Yeah, it's just that the baby is really relaxed, and the oxygen actually goes down to the tummy. So when we need to actually calm ourselves down, we need to make sure that our oxygen goes right down to the diaphragm. So we can actually teach the child like this: put the left hand on the chest or right hand on the tummy. Okay, breathe in through your nose. Okay, slowly, 4 counts. Hold the breath for 1 or 2 seconds and breathe out slowly through the mouth. Very slowly. Okay, for young children, right?
Mhm.
We can do this with our children. For young children, we might want to use some very fun ways, pretending that your tummy is a balloon and then flatten the tummy. Use fun methods to help the child to learn relaxation. Another way that I use in counseling is blowing bubbles. Okay, blowing bubbles. Okay, to challenge a child, right, to blow as big a bubble as possible. In order to do that, right, he has to actually breathe out very slowly to get a big bubble. Okay, or we might even actually use this simple thing. Yeah, this pinwheel from Daiso. Okay, when you breathe, right, challenge a child, do some activities at home together to make it fun, for them to learn relaxation. We breathe out. Okay. So when we breathe out slowly, right, okay, challenge them, how many seconds can they turn the pinwheel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so make it fun, for younger children. And of course, older children, they might know how to do this on their own. Teach them first, okay? And then visualization is something that children primary school level can do, okay? Pretend that you're in a place that makes you very relaxed. What do you see? What do you hear? Okay, it's something that helps them to, at the moment, to calm down when they're stressed. When they're stressed, they won't be able to concentrate. So take 1 minute, okay? 1 minute is already sufficient to just help them to calm down. All right. So I also have some others. Maybe I'm not going to go through these all, but some make it fun. Squeeze the lemon for young children, lower primary children. Pretend you have a lemon, squeeze it, and then release. Okay, this is something called muscle relaxation. Okay, turtle shell. Turtle shell. You pretend you're a turtle shell, and then release. And then release. Yeah, some simple relaxation. Or pretend that something is tickling your tummy. Pull your tummy in. Release. Okay. So I can actually send these to parents who might be interested to one. Okay.
Yeah. Can I just help
Yes.
parents to do I will not say wrap up. I think put them into steps. Because I think some of the parents may like, wow, there's so many things to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parents, all those techniques work because actually if you go through, okay, like for example, the breathing one. Can you go back to a slide?
Okay.
The one which is like
this one.
when we observe how a baby breathe.
This one, right?
Yeah. Actually, in fact, the interesting thing, because I also have a teacher who's my vocal coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I also learn to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah, even I have to learn. I mean, even though I teach other people math, I still have to learn from somebody else to speak, to do training.
Yes.
Yeah, and in fact, this is what she said. A lot of times, many of us, and it's also because of bad habits learned. Many of us are breathing the wrong way, and in fact, our most of our breathings are very shallow.
Hello.
And shallow breathing comes in when someone is anxious or feel like he's in danger. Yeah, we're like sometimes when we run, after 2.4, most of us like, oh my god, I don't die like that.
That's right.
Yeah, so a lot of times, even and when you say that the baby breathes like that, it actually reminded me that when we were younger, things are all going well for us until we learn many bad habits along the way as we are growing up. Yeah. So I thought it's so nice for you to bring this up as well. And the visualization one, it may be something new for parents. Yeah. So what I suggest is, okay, think of somebody who you love, somebody or something that you like.
Yeah.
For example, Harry Potter book for my kids.
Oh,
for
they
my
love
elders.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Or maybe your pet dog. Yeah.
Yes.
Or your car. Yeah. Because I think for me, what helps and it's easier for adults will be because of the association towards, or rather, the positive association towards the object
Yes.
So it naturally will trigger off by thinking about it. Yeah. But sometimes I worry that the parents may think of things or trying very hard to think of things that work for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Or you can, like, for my wife, she loves chocolate. If you say chocolate, you can see the smile on her face. Yeah. Yeah. So if you like ice cream, think of ice cream. Okay. So that would naturally trigger off
The happy,
the happy feeling.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So hope this helps the parents who are still listening.
Immediately they will trigger the emotions, the calmer and happier emotion. That's right.
Strike Toto. Strike Toto. Everyone will like, yes.
Yes. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bring yourself away from the situation and just think of something happy. Thanks, John. I think that's wonderful.
Sure.
So okay, so maybe finally, right? Finally, maybe for parents, okay, let's see, okay, for parents, I think because we have so much influence over our children, right, as adults. So maybe we also need to actually learn our own model good coping strategies at home. Yeah, for instance, when we're stressed, right? Children will observe us when we're stressed. And what do we do when we're stressed? Do we lash out at people? Or we have our time out space, or we can just tell them, be very open with our children. Hey, mommy is really stressed right now. Mommy is going to do some writing, or mommy is going to do some gardening, or mommy is going to go out for a while to relieve my stress. So parents can be actually open about our own coping mechanisms as well, emotions. And self-care, I think just now John, you mentioned that as parents, I think as parents, right, parents have own responsibilities, work, children, housework, so many responsibilities. So self-care is really, really important. Yeah, before we take care of the children, we need to take care of ourselves. And self-care is not selfish. Yeah, do one thing, at least one thing, to make ourselves happy. At least one thing a day. Yeah, and finally, instill hope. Yeah, whatever is happening, right, there's always hope for the children. Instill hope in the child that, hey, mommy is here, daddy is here for you no matter what happens. Instill that kind of hope that the child knows that, hey, I can run to daddy, mommy no matter what happens. Yeah. So here are some helplines. Let's say if the child has some problems functioning at school, in school he doesn't want to go to school, or at home he becomes very withdrawn, like just now we mentioned the behavioral strategies, right, over more than 2 weeks, for instance. Okay, or maybe some very severe physical reactions. Maybe it's time also to seek professional support. Okay, maybe the first line of support maybe could be your family doctor, all right, GP, to rule out any medical conditions, all right, and the GP can actually recommend where he can recommend some places where the child can seek help from. So here are some helplines as well, free helplines. Okay, so for children, okay, there's this Tinkle Friend helpline. For youths, Touchline, and for children, right, or teens who are more comfortable to chat, right, there's also this online counseling, ec2.sg here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's right. So so the rest of it are actually free of charge. So do know that there are therapists, counselors who actually provide services at pro bono rates, or actually free of charge as well during this time. Yeah, so there's no lack of support, and it's okay actually to seek help. Yeah, it's perfectly fine to seek help even for parents.
And also, just one more thing, because something that I always believe in, there's this SOS helpline by Samaritan of Singapore, 24 hours. And if you know of anyone, okay, probably just an education for the parents who are listening. When I was a social worker, I was taught there are 3 key identifiers, or 3 key events to identify if a person, like, how should I put it, is considered of a high suicidal risk. Is it?
Yeah.
High suicide risk. Yeah, I can't remember the terms. Yeah, so that means the risk is high. Yeah, so one of them, Joy, this one you must help me, because sometimes I forget some of the things that I had learned. Yeah. Okay. First of all, the person, it may be adult and child, or child. It may not be child or adult. It can be either one. Yeah. The person has a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the person has a plan. Like, oh, he or she talks about how to die, how to commit suicide. And one of the things to look out for is the person start to give away things that they like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like preparing a will for adults.
Yeah.
They give away things on paper, but for children, they'll give away their soft toys to people they like,
Yeah.
or things that they like, that like their favorite pets or favorite soft toy they'll give away. Yeah, so these are signs to look out for as well.
That's right.
What's the third one? I can't remember that.
Prior CPR current plan, like what you mentioned, then plan prior. Are there any prior attempts? Suicide attempts. Yeah. Maybe if the person, the child or the adult has prior suicide attempts, then it will actually he'll be at higher risk. And then the CPR resources, are there any support for this person? If this person is like very isolated, right? There's no social support, no family support, friend support, then the risk could also be higher as well compared to somebody who has the family support, from friends, social community support. Yeah, that's right. So I think you mentioned a very good point that when the child, sometimes these are little signs that we as adults or even friends, right, among adults, right, we need to actually take note of. Or let's say if the child starts to write certain things on social media, sometimes these are little signs to seek help. Okay, they are actually signs of calling out for help. Yeah, so instead of actually brushing it off as like attention seeking, or what, treat every sign seriously, because we never know when this person might actually at one point he or she might actually do something impulsive at the moment if there's nobody to actually stop him or her. Yeah, so every thanks John for bringing this up. Every little signs, right, like do treat it seriously. Or when the child says I have no meaning in life, I might as well die and so on. Treat it very, very seriously. Yeah, that's right. So adults as well, friends as well, look out for one another, because we are not alone, and we are actually wired to have this social support. We are social creatures, so look out for one another, be a source of support for one another as well. Yeah.
Great. Is there any more slide after this? Because I think
okay, I think that's about it. So this one is another helpline. I think that's all. Okay, there's a new national care hotline that is actually for this COVID-19 situation. 1-800-202-6868 for people who are actually very anxious about the situation right now. Okay, and thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, John, for having me again on online.
Okay, just two more questions before we end off. Because I think okay, parents, if you're still with us or you are watching this later on, take note that actually there are many helplines around, and most of us, or if not all of us, have a mobile phone with us every second of our life. Yeah, so the help is just a click away or a call away.
That's right.
And even though if you think that sometimes parents may think that they are all alone, carrying all the loads. Actually a lot of times everyone else is feeling the same way or similar way. So do reach out for help if you think that you need help. Yep.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's okay to seek help. There's no shame in seeking help. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. I think one last question. Okay, because I think whatever we have shared here I wouldn't say it's only for parents who are self-aware. I think that parents who are highly self-aware and highly tuned in to their kids' life, they will be more proactive to do the necessary tweaks to
Yeah.
their own life. Yeah. What will you say to parents who want to try, but because they are so busy and the business of life actually got them to tune off more than tune in.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can such parents help? Because I think a lot of times all parents love their kids. That means that's what I believe. And
Yeah,
I'm just
definitely.
trying to also cover this part that many parents are trying, but a lot of times
Yes.
life actually suck them back to the business,
Yeah.
and sometimes days pass, weeks pass, and it's a matter of time. How come that they think of how come time passes so fast and my time with my kids is so little? Yeah, so what can they do?
Yes, that's right. And it's really not easy for parents, especially during this period also.
Yep.
Definitely not easy. So so just now I think firstly I think parents self-care is very, very important. Self-compassion as well. No matter maybe in the past we have failed not to spend more time with our children and we really feel guilty about it. It is okay, to actually not be okay, and maybe telling ourselves that, hey, I forgive myself. Okay, I forgive myself. Today or now is a new beginning. Okay, wherever we are in our parenting journey, right, with our children, maybe we have not spent enough time. Okay, don't beat ourselves up. Okay, but instead forgive ourselves, self-compassion, and say that it's okay to start wherever we are. And then maybe one question that we can ask perhaps is, if not now, when? If not me, then who? Because I am, the parent of this child. If it's not me who spends the time with the child, who? Okay, I'm given, I have this privilege and this honor to just make a difference in this short few years, especially the primary school years, to build this foundation. All right, if I don't take hold of this window, right, when they go to secondary school, it might be hard to capture them. So maybe taking care of our needs, very important. Perhaps instead of like setting too high expectations for ourselves and that we must spend a long time with our child, maybe just taking out 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just put away our phone. 10 minutes, okay, just 10 minutes. Start with 10 minutes if we have not started at all. Maybe 5 minutes is also good, okay? Start small, okay, just to talk about anything with your child, just being with them or playing games with your child. Yeah, just start wherever we are, small steps. All right, it's never too late to start. Yeah.
Great. One more tip I can chip in is I think as parents we need to do daily check-ins.
Yeah.
It can be through text message as well, because I think many kids nowadays, even the primary schools kids, they have a mobile phone. And parents, I'm sure you have been texting your co-workers or your friends. Do send at least one message to your kid to ask how are they, and mommy or daddy miss you. That's all.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, even though they might not reply, sometimes by having this message, right, actually, warms their hearts. Some children, when boys or even teenagers, right, they might not want to show that, I'm very happy that mom. But actually, this actually makes a difference, to children. I think that's a very, very good point. Yeah, thanks a lot, John. Thank you.
All right. Okay. We are going to wrap up. Is it okay? They can just stop share so we can go back to full view.
Certainly.
Okay. Thanks, Joy. For sharing, because I think today you are the second person to share me, to attune in to the kids' life. Yeah. So I got that from the earlier interview as well. Yeah. So I thought that one is a very important step for parents to tune in to the kids' life and really be involved. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I want to ask you a question that I always ask my guests. Do you know when is PSLE?
Oh, okay. PSLE.
Which month lah? Which month?
Which month? October, right?
Wow, full marks. Wow, very good.
Okay.
You can get A star for
Yay.
PSLE already.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, and I guess because you work with students in school, so probably you can sense
Mm,
the kids' pressure going up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
right.
so let's say if I may invite you to walk down the memory lane.
Mm, mhm,
Yeah.
Mm.
So now the joy go back to your younger self
Mm.
and you see the 12-year-old joy.
mhm, mm,
Yeah.
Yep.
And this 12-year-old joy is standing so close to you that you can almost touch her
mhm,
and she's looking at you right into the eye.
mhm,
What will you tell her?
mm.
No wrong or right, anything will do. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell her that Joy, you've been working too hard, you've been too serious.
Oh.
You need to actually it's okay to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, to not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to have fun. Yeah. So Joy, you are precious and you're loved for who you are. Yeah. That's all I'll tell her.
Anything else?
Okay, and also spend more time learning, maybe learning a new sport.
New sports.
Yeah,
Oh.
spend time in sports. Yeah, picking up some sports. Yeah, because I think when you grow up, you really thank yourself when you were young. Yeah, that's right. Because right now I'm not into sports. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say if you can pick up one spot now, what will you choose?
Oh, okay. What will I choose?
Yeah.
Okay,
Does it sound like PSLE English oral
a little bit.
or like inner work?
Oh yeah. A bit. Okay, I think I'll choose badminton.
Badminton.
Okay, yeah, and also basketball. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So do something that and also okay, now that you ask me, right? Ice skating.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. Learn something different. Learn something new.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to try because you never try, you never know.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if your husband is listening to this right now, will he bring you for ice skating right now or soon?
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, clue.
Yeah, clue.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing, Joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, John. You're doing very, very wonderful work.
Great, thanks. Yeah, because I think I learned a lot from your sharing as well, and I really hope that the parents who are listening to this, again, not many will listen to this because, like what I told you, supporting mental well-being is, I would say, it's not one of their priorities, lah.
I see.
Yeah, but I think it's also very important to share, and
Yeah.
we do have parents who texted us saying that they have learned something and they apply back, and they have a stronger relationship with their children. So which is what pushed me on to really want to bring on experts like you to share more on strengthening the emotion well-being within the family.
I see. Thank you for this opportunity to contribute. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, don't go off first. Yeah. So parents, see you around and have a good dinner. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.